Hey, it's Who here, and I'm going to say something today. We're going to talk about GoPros and all the settings I use to capture all the content. First off, got to let you all know this has been an absolutely crazy week. This vlog almost slipped away from me. I had all intentions of getting this done maybe yesterday, but that didn't quite happen. And here I am today at 5:30 p.m., just before the week's out, making my vlog. Anywho, we're gonna talk about GoPros. This is what we're here for. Let's talk about it. So, I'm shooting with the GoPro 6. I love the ease and function with the RS Go. It's kind of dependent on that right now. I have my eyes on the new Insta1, the 1-inch sensor. I have been watching reviews. I'm not jumping the gun. I don't hype buy. That is one rule of mine. Never hype buy. Wait till that V1 comes out. It cycles through. Watch the review videos. See what's going on. Anyway, I do have my eye on that one. I'm really excited to try things out, especially in low light, because that's where these things are terrible. And 90% of my shooting is indoor, which is very likely going to be low light. So I have to fight through a lot of different lighting issues, and I have to, pick the right time of day to shoot properties, places, spaces, and make sure these settings are on point. You never know which take's going to be that golden take, and you want to make sure that nothing accidentally happened along the way that would screw that up. It's happened before, and it's painful. It is painful. Anywho, let's start. Outdoors, mandatory. Polar Pro neutral density filter. On this one, I kind of have the ND8 just kind of sitting on there. It's pretty much almost always going to be on the GoPro, and it has a ding already at the bottom. Not sure if you can see that, but that happened last week. I have a backup brand new inside the bag, so I just kind of leave this one on, ready to go. Anywho, let's see. I'm going to power this bad boy on. If you are using GoPro 6 and Real Steady, I would suggest that you have V1.6 on there. If you haven't read on the website, V1.6 works best. We'll go through this together. I go through the back, menu, preferences, about this GoPro, and you can see that I'm at a 1.60 key. That's step number one for me whenever I get a GoPro 6, break one, get a new one, whatever it is. All right, so we'll leave the preferences, and here's the back of my camera. You'll see that I'm pretty much locked on 2.7K 4.3, 60 frames a second. Now there are times where 60 frames goes away. I'm not going to try to break down and tell you exactly how video is best captured, but I will tell you what has worked for me. I prefer 60 frames so I can slow down footage. I fly pretty slow, but there's always a time where maybe I take a quick turn that I maybe wanted to see something a little longer. I'd like to have that option for slow-mo. So if I can, I'm always going to aim for 60 frames a second. There are times when I have to drop it to 30. It happens. You got to go to 30. It's too low light. But if I'm going to go to 30, I'll go to 4K at that point. Let me just get that extra quality 4K, 4.3, 30. In low light. Just get as much image as you can get. And also at 30 frames a second, I'm going to knowingly fly slower so that anytime I do come to a stop, it'll already feel slow motion and mimic that 60 frames a second that I prefer. Now we're going to the Happy Pro Tune section, which is, let me see if I can reset it. I'll reset the Pro Tune settings because I'm comfortable with what I got. So this is what you'll get on an automatic, right when you get a brand new GoPro, this is what it's going to be set on. Auto, EV comp, which is going to go away, ISO range, shutter speed, white balance, color, all that good stuff. So let's go through it. I always have audio off. That's just what I do. Unnecessary to hear that drone yelling at me. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lock my shutter speed. So let's see. Very important to always remember where you're at. Right now we're at 2.7K 4.330. I'll change that to 60, my usual. Go to 60. Great. Wide. Yeah. We're going to swipe on over to Pro Tune. We're going to take out auto. We're going to immediately go to 1/120th. We are doubling the shutter speed. That is going to be locked. ISO min 100. Fantastic. That's ISO max. Now here is my ISO max? 400. I refuse to go past 400. I can't even justify going past 400. The grain, the quality is just trash. It is trash, trash, trash. And anyone who flies this and does this for a living and does any kind of professional videography will tell you it's trash. Reason for that, small sensor. Reason why the Insta1 has piqued my curiosity is because of that bigger sensor. And while I'm on the topic real quick, a couple things that are taking me off of it are the post-stabilizing software. It doesn't seem to be that fluid. I do have the option, luckily enough, to go back to old OG Real Steady and do this frame by frame and break it down. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to do that yet, especially with a 1-inch sensor and the size of the files I'm going to be dealing with. Might be a little stressful on my 2015 Mac. So yet to be determined. I think I'm going to download someone's sample footage and try that out. Tangents, here we go. Let's go back to the GoPro. So I have my ISO locked at 100 to 400. White balance, that's a funny one. And tricky too, because I'm dealing with a lot of white balances when I'm going from indoor to out, and also in rooms that share a lot of indoor light coming through and the interior lighting. It's going to be a little bit of warm and cool colors blending together, blues and yellows. And, you know, you might leave a room that's a little bit more blue and then go to a room that's a little bit more, a little warmer, a little yellow, and it's going to look orange, you know? So you got to find that happy medium. I tend to just always go right in the middle at 5,500K. Right in the middle. I just lock it at 5,500. This is great. Almost 100%. Outdoor situations, 5,500 is where you want to be. When I go indoors and I'm dealing with a lot of that warm orange lighting, I will bring it down at most to 4,500K. Anything below that, GoPro just makes it too blue. It's just too locked in the green. It takes away from the video. Don't do it. Sharpness. I am always going to go to low. And the reason for that is because GoPro sharpening is just a bit too much for me. It's just a hyper sharpening. And at the end of the day, it's actually eating away at information on the video by doing that sharpening. It's, I forget the right terminology, and I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. Moire, I think I want to say it is, moire. I sound like I probably just botched it up, and I hope you guys can correct me with a maybe pronunciation next to it. Anyway, we'll continue. GoPro color. Flat that bad boy out. This is another thing you have to remember post. You can always add sharpening post, and you can always add saturation post. I have never, I don't think once shot on GoPro color for anything. I'd rather have the option of tweaking it myself post. And again, audio is going to be off. Another key feature, naturally, I think by going to 4.3, stabilization turns off. Lucky us, because it's just too much. But always swipe over from Pro Tune to this and make sure that that bad boy is off. I can't tell you how many times. No, it's only happened once because I won't let it happen again. Coming back home and seeing this is heart crushing, especially after you just murked it out there and had such a good time flying. And when you see that file not workable in this RSGO, you're just like, what? Then you start doing the research, you start figuring it out, and you look at the back of the GoPro and the damn thing's on. Crappy Hero 6 stabilization. So, at the end of the day, this is my settings. They're my go-to settings. 60 frames is goal is a key. If I have to knock down to 30 frames, I go to 4K 4.3 at 30 frames a second, just to get that extra, you know, room to work with in terms of quality, and maybe even crop in if I need to. You know, a GoPro's a GoPro. They're limited by nature. They're small. They're action cams. This is not by any means cinematic. We can mimic that cinematic thing, but if you bring this to a production set, like a really true movie set, they might laugh just a hair. They can make it look like it, and they can work with it. They've done it before. I've seen it, and it's magic. But we really need to pray and hope that technology catches up in 2020 and brings us something that's reliable, that can be stabilized reliably, and is great in low light. I can't believe GoPro has not come out with a 1-inch sensor. It is one of my biggest gripes, and I would be willing to pay some money for it. Just if they came out with, hair bigger, hair heavier, bigger sensor. Even if they can somehow maybe fit it here, that would be great. But, you know, they seem to be keeping on the same roundabout, and it's getting kind of tiring. I haven't even bothered to pick up the 8, even though I've seen the quality. It's fantastic, but I really don't want to spend the money on it. I don't see how lack of innovation is an incentive for me to purchase it just because I get higher frame rates. I'm pretty comfortable with what I got right now. And until I see a sensor size improvement, I may never invest into a GoPro again. We'll see. You know, I'm hoping for some other companies to start stepping up their game. I know Sony has a great 1-inch sensor, but you know, you're slammed straight into real steady go, old school. And again, I have been down that road. I know how this movie ends, and it is a very, very long one to get to that ending. So it's going to be a lot of convincing for me to go down that avenue. We'll see where this all goes. Either way, I hope this kind of helped you out. Hope to see you guys again next week, and be submitting some work once I finish catching up to my deadlines. I have a piece of paper next to me with at least 10 things that need to get done before Monday. So I have a heck of a weekend ahead of me, and wish you all the best of fun. Happy flying. I'll see you all next week.